Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Thunder, and today we're going to be working on improving the graphics in Unity. So right now, our game, if we hit play, we already have weapon systems, we have melee systems, we have a bunch of systems which are key to a survival game, but we need a couple more still. But first, I wanted to show you guys how to improve graphics, because I think it's gonna give it a better touch to your game. So right now, as you can see, we have weapons, everything. We have trees, grass, rocks, but it's looking pretty dull. It's not looking realistic. So we're going to be adding visual effects, graphics improvements, an actual sky, because as you can see, it's a sky, but it's totally cleared. So we're going to be adding in clouds, and we're also going to be adding footsteps, camera shake for when we shoot, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Also, I'm gonna show you in a moment how to make the water look like this, because I was playing around with the values of camera and I achieved a pretty good result. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is how the water looks for me, but I'll show you guys how it looked before. So I'm just gonna drag a new water in. I'm gonna deactivate this one, drag this one in. Actually, not this one, sorry. This one. And I'm gonna give it the same size. You don't have to do what I'm doing now. This is just to show you all. Okay, so this paste component values. Okay, actually, disable this one. And paste the component values for this one. Okay, actually never mind. Seems like I also changed the prefab one. But well, basically what I did was first tweak the colors. So as you can see right here, there's two color values, and it totally changes the way it looks. You could even make a red sea, so it looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back to what it was at for me. Actually, that's a lot better for me. Also, you can lower the alpha so it looks more clear, and just tweak both of them. Actually, I might just leave it like this because I really like it, how it's looking. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. So now that we've done this, then there's the tiling, which is the first one. Tiling one is for the actual water and waves. So this texture right here. So you can see if I up this, it's a 12, I'm gonna put it at 24, and here it's a 9, so 18. I make it larger, it looks different, but I'm just gonna leave it at default. So just play around with the values, just find a good value for you. So you can see as I change this, I'm gonna make it one by one. So 1 and 1. You can see how the foam looks, which actually I think it looks a lot better like that. I'm just gonna leave it that way. And then we have this right here, which I'm not gonna lie, I've never used this water script, so I have no idea how it works. But play around with the intensity, because as you can see, it changes. So look right here by the waves. So this changes the way the waves look. So then next is the power, which is basically going to change the color. So go ahead and tweak that. I'm just gonna leave it at this value right here. And then the bias, I have it at negative 0.07, but you can see what it does. Actually, it just feels a lot better. So you can already see our water is looking a lot like a Iceland's water, how it would look. And over here, this is for the foam. Let's go to this two first. So this is for the foam. Have it at 232. So if you bring it all the way up, you can see the waves. So it's for the waves on the foam. So you can see them right there, how they're looking. I'm gonna make it like that. And over here's the intensity of it, which I just like it all the way up to the top. Looks a lot better. So next thing, it's these three values over here, which honestly I'm just gonna test it out because I have no idea what they do. Okay, so this is for the actual shoreline. So as you can see, this makes the shore foam go more back or just stay close to the shore itself. Then there's the short fade, I think it was. Yeah, that's what I was tweaking. So that's the short fade and the edge fade. I really don't know what this does, so let's just leave it how it is. But as you can see, we've achieved a pretty good result for our C. I am going to go ahead and make it a little bit bigger though. So where is the actual, okay, there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and make it bigger because right now we can still see the edge of it. Alright, 37 by 37 looks like a good value. And let's go ahead and hit play and see how it looks. Again, this tutorial is sort of optional because we're going to be tweaking some things on the code and adding some things, but it's not really anything game breaking. It's mostly details that go into any normal game and then the graphics. So you can see our water is looking a lot more like the Iceland water, Right here I'm going to go ahead and see how it looks. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Although I'm going to have to bring the tiling of the foam a little bit down because it's looking weird. But that's just personal preference, how you want your game to look. So just play around with the values. Find a way that it looks that fits for your game the way you wanted it. So that's up to you already. This is how I prefer it, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the graphics aspect. So first, we're going to add a skybox. I already have some skybox, but if you don't, go into Google, type in Unity Asset Store. Once you're in there, log in with your Unity account and look up skybox and just find a free one, or if you want to buy one, it's up to you. I already have a couple of skybox that I've bought before, so I'm gonna go ahead and import them in. So all you have to do, again, Window, Package Manager, and I have to sign in, which I'm gonna do in a moment. Actually guys, forget about asset store if you don't want to do it. You really don't have to, because I'm pretty sure these standard assets have skies. So we're going to go ahead and I'm gonna show you how to change it. So go into Window, Rendering, and then Lighting. Go over here into Environment, and where it says Default Skybox, this is the material you use for your sky. I'm just gonna search up sky, and let's see what we get. Okay. Alright, well, turns out there's no skyboxes on these standard assets. Well, there used to be back in 2015, 2014, there used to be skyboxes that would come with these standard assets, but it seems that they changed it. So I'm going to go ahead and import them. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Okay guys, so I went ahead and imported in the AK Skybox Pack free. This one's for free. Just search up this name on the asset store and you can add it to your package manager. All you have to do is click where it says add to my assets. Then again, Window, Package Manager, and over here just select my assets and just look it up. I already imported it, so it's right here in assets, AK, there we go. I'm gonna not into models, I guess. Alright, I'm just gonna put it out in assets. Okay. Alright, there we go. So let's go and put in assets. Alright, so now going to, again, Window. Just wait for it to load everything. Window, Rendering, Lighting. Go to Environment, and where it says Default Skybox, just look up the skybox and select which one you want. I'm gonna use this one. So you're gonna already see it up there and right here. And Horizon's looking a lot better like this. Although we're going to have an issue, but we're gonna solve it when we do the night and the day and night cycle. Which, if it turns nighttime, so right now it should be nighttime. The sky is already just plain. Still looks like daytime, but don't worry, we'll fix that. So that's it for the most simple part of the tutorial, water and sky. So let's go ahead and hit play and see how it looks. Okay, just load. Alright, there we go. So you can see up there, and it's actually looking pretty good. Got a nice sky, improved water. Now we're going to go ahead and add visual effects, which are gonna make our game look 10 times great. And right after we're done with that, we're gonna be adding screen shake for when we shoot, and even footsteps. Although I'm still thinking whether to do footsteps on a separate video. So what we're going to do is we're gonna make it so right now when we shoot, see I'm shooting and but it doesn't really feel like we're shooting. We're gonna make it so our screen shakes every time we shoot, and it's gonna give it more of that impact that we need. And on the future, when we start working on AI and everything, we're gonna be adding so hit markers when we shoot something and all of that things, which is gonna give it a better feeling to our game. But you're gonna already see how cool this looks with the clouds up far in the distance, the water, everything. It's looking a lot better. And if you wanted to make it even better, you could just put some rocks over here through the shore so it looks more realistic. Palm trees. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and go into models, rocks and boulders, rocks and prefabs, and I'm gonna be adding a couple of small rocks like this all through my shore. They all have colliders, yep. So, okay, forget about that one. Actually, these little rocks, I wouldn't recommend you put colliders on them because they already have some, but you could delete them if you wanted it. There's no real need for colliders. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that really quick off camera. Once I've done it, I'll show you guys. Alright guys, so I already finished adding the rocks. I added some through the shoreline, and also I went ahead and did some rocks on the water right here, which I think is gonna look pretty cool. Just, you know, you can just rotate them around, resize them, and they're gonna look different. You can use the same rock model. Just make sure not to use them too close to each other. So let's go ahead and see how that's looking now. You can see our shoreline's a lot more decorated now, right there on the far. It looks a lot better now. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add the palms through the shoreline, which I will do on camera. So I'm gonna go to trees, edit tree, add tree, select the game object, and I'm gonna do palm. Right here, palm desktop, and add. Okay, that's way too many palms. Still way too many. Okay, so it's just, you know, add a couple through the shoreline. Just try not to add them on top of rocks or anything like that, because it's gonna look really weird, to be honest. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some over here I might have to delete them now that I think about it, because my FPS are gonna be really bad. But let's see what happens. So, okay. Well, you can already notice it's starting to look a lot better. So, our game's looking a lot more professional right now. You can see the beach out actually looks like a real beach right now. Maybe there's too many palms, but you know, that's just level design things. I'm just showing you guys how to do things, doing it along with you, but perfection's gonna be on your side. That's gonna be your job. So if you want less palms, just go ahead and do it like that. But this map's already fitting a lot better. Rocks, palms. We have rocks on the sea, better water, sky. Now we're going to go ahead and actually add visual effects finally. So go into Window, Package Manager, and we're gonna go here and click on Unity Registry, and it's going to be called Post Processing. Okay, yeah. So click on the Post Processing package, install it, and I'm just gonna pause the video. Okay guys, so I already installed it. Now next thing we're going to do, open up your player and select the main camera and go over here to layers where it says default, click on it and click on add layer. And right here on the latest one we've got, we're going to do post processing. So now select your main camera again and assign it the post processing layer. Just select this object only and that will do it. Alright, so once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and on assets, we're going to create a new folder called graphics. And right on here, we're going to right click create, and I believe, I'm not sure where it is right now to be honest, but I'm gonna look through it. Post processing profile, that's what we need. I'm just gonna call it profile. So before you do anything, go to your main camera and hit add component and do post processing layer. Then on layers, added the post processing one, and then we're going to go over here and add component again, post process volume. In post processing volume, check is global to true, and then we're going to drag the profile we created into here, and now we can actually start adding effects. I'm gonna deactivate my player canvas just so I can see the full screen, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So I'm gonna go into main camera and let's start. So right click on add left click on sorry, left click on add effect, Unity, and over here we have all of our effects. I'm gonna start by adding a depth of field effect, which right now doesn't have anything. So we're gonna do focus distance, focal length, aperture, enable all of those. So over here I'm just going to see, so right there you can see already the effect being applied. So if I disable it, it's a slight change, but when we put all the effects together, they will each make a slight change that's gonna make a big impact at the end. So that's the values I'm going to use. I'm gonna test aperture. Okay, that's way too much. So I'm just gonna use like that value right there. Focal length, that's way too much. Focal length right there, that feels about right. So I'm gonna go ahead, add a new effect, and we're going to add bloom. This is going to make our colors more lively, and no, sorry, not the colors. This is going to make it so lights actually have that glow around them, and it's going to look pretty good. So go to intensity and mark it, and then you can already see the changes it's making. So the horizon looks a lot more bloomy, it looks a lot more with a lot more light reflecting off of it, coming through the edges of rocks. I'm not gonna be playing with all of this, but you can do it if you want. We could do dirtiness. Let me just see if I can find a decent texture for it. Let's go ahead and, I don't know. Just, honestly, I don't think we have any decent texture for this. So I'm just gonna use the foam texture for test. This is the aircraft. Let's do foam. Right, there we go. And you can already see how it's looking. So I'm gonna just make it slightly, and now if we deactivate it, not the depth of field, the bloom, you can already see how big of a change it is. So let's go ahead and add we're going to be doing color grading space. So there you go, you already are seeing how much better it's looking. So we haven't enabled anything, but let's go ahead and enable it. Mode, not neutral, ACES. Okay, so this is removing saturation from our colors, which this just depends on the aesthetic you're going for. But okay, what I'm gonna do is drag game over here and actually make this bigger, because it's gonna be a lot easier to edit it. So I'm gonna enable the mode. I'm gonna go for this color actually, and temperature. You can see it makes it warmer. Okay, I'm liking that. That right there, I really like it. Pulse exposure, there you go. You're already seeing the big change this is doing. Again, I haven't used some of these effects before, so I'm just playing around with the values by myself while recording this, and you can see the big change. So if we disable the post-processing volume, let's go ahead and do that. This is how it looked before. This is how it looks now. It's a big change. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna add a vignette. I don't know how to say that. This is basically going to add some shadows around on the corners, which pretty much it gives a nice effect. Yeah, there you go. That feels pretty good. Screen space reflections, no. Motion blur. I'm going to add some motion blur, but all this does is when we move our camera, it's going to basically blur things like real life. A lot of people find that annoying in games, but it actually is a pretty good effect for graphics. Usually what people do is they make a settings menu for games. Every game has a settings menu and you can disable it there, but that just depends. So go ahead and enable this too, and we're going to test it out, see how it's looking. So okay, you can see the motion blur. You can see how good. I'm gonna disable the texture for the bloom because it's looking pretty ugly. So if you look up, you can notice right here. Okay, wait. Right here on this part, you can notice the foam. So I'm gonna delete that. But you can see it's already looking 10 times better. Right here especially, it looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and over here just disable texture and intensity. I'm gonna up the sample count on the motion blur, and let's go ahead and test it. So yeah, I like that motion blur a lot more. So let's go ahead and add a new effect, and I'm going to, I don't remember what this one was, but I know I used it in my game, and it's actually something that I like using on my game because I know it makes sort of change. Okay, yeah, it was this. I usually do this effect, but really this is a effect that you need to use carefully because it can. So you can see right there the corners are looking super weird. I just do it a little bit so it gives that effect of peripheral vision, but you know, it's up to you again. So I'm gonna go ahead and add new effect. Let's do lens distortion, which I've never used this one before, so okay, yeah, that's not really needed. Although something like that, I don't know. I like it, but yeah, I'm gonna use it actually. And then grain, if this is what I believe it is. Okay, yes, this is a pretty good effect for making things feel a lot more consistent with the image. So basically what this is film grain. I'm not an expert on visual effects, but you can notice these grains right here, which again, this is a effect to be used lightly. Don't overdo it because it's gonna mess up the whole look. But right now it actually makes a change. Again, slight change, but it's pretty useful. And then let's see, auto exposure. I believe, I'm not sure which one's this, but okay, this is what auto exposure it was. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be using this one. So again, you can already see the huge difference from before and now. So let's go ahead and see what else we got. Ambient occlusion, we need this one for sure. And I'm gonna enable it and I'm gonna up. So this is what ambient occlusion does. It does so there's shadows between the objects. So you can see this is a pretty important effect. I'm going to be lowering a little. But yeah, you can see it's being used lightly, but it makes a huge change. So let's go ahead and hit play. And you can already see how much better it looks. I am going to lower the motion blur actually. You're gonna see my laptop's gonna blow up just because of how much it's consuming. So I might lower the graphics for next tutorial. But let's go ahead and pick some items up, which I have no idea where they are. Okay, they're right here. But you can already see how big. Okay, of course, canvas not activated. Canvas, let's do it right here. So let's go ahead and see. You're gonna see a big difference on guns also. That's why I wanted to make the guns first, because I wanted to show you all the difference it makes on guns. And you can see when you get too close to an object, it actually blurs the screen, which is a pretty realistic effect. So here it goes. Actually, this is making it problematic because of the depth of field, so let's go ahead and fix that. Okay, so you can see right there how it's looking. Okay, so I'm gonna go to profile and let's first check what's causing that. It's not the motion blur, so most likely it's the depth of field. Yep, right there. I'm going to, so if I take aperture, focus distance, if I up it, if I lower it, it looks pretty blurry. That's a good value. Max blur size. Okay, so alright, so this is about it. Focal length, lower it, and I'm gonna tweak the bloom a little actually, because it's sort of messing with. Okay, maybe we can do it by tweaking the hands material. You can already look how beautiful this is looking. Okay, I don't know where the hell my player is at. Okay, over here it should be. Where is he? Okay, I'm just Gonna double click on it. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and just drag this right here. Let's maximize it and see how it's looking right now. Actually, never mind, it's looking pretty good. But yeah, there you go, you have your visual effects. And you already see the huge graphics improvement it is. I'm going to go ahead and do something which is going to be disable the profiler so you can see the difference. So actually you'll be able to see it right from the editor too. So this is how it's looking right now. And if we go over here and disable our profiler or volume, sorry, you can see the huge impact that made. So there you go, you can already see how much better it looks by just adding some post-processing, adding a sky, and tweaking the water. That's the huge improvement you can make. Exposure, maybe I'm overdoing it a little, so I'm just gonna do like 0.2. And let's go ahead. Okay, never mind, we need a value of 1 at least. Where is it? Actually, I want to test something out. Right now I'm just playing a little with it, but I want to test it at 0. See how it looks. Yeah, this is a pretty good way to make a day at nighttime. So just gonna go ahead and bring it back up. Exposure, I'm gonna do it at 1. So yeah, there we go. But you can already see how much better our game's looking. And as I said, we were doing small amounts on every effect, but you can see the big difference it has made on our game. I actually want to take a look at the water. And weapons look great, to be honest. Even the pistol, which in my opinion was the one that looked the worst, it looks really good. So yeah, if I had a bit of more frames, this will be a lot better. Okay, so you can see a tree right here going out of the rock, but I don't really care. This is not gonna be a polished product for me, so you can just make sure you don't have any trees inside rocks. But you can see the beach is looking great. It's looking amazing. And if we go around, this is what I did. I scattered some of the rocks right there, you know, like around, but it didn't really do much of them because it was annoying and tedious. But there's actually a asset store tool which is called Placer, but without the E. So place, take the E out and add an R, which actually allows you to place prefabs. Instead of dragging them, you can click on the position you want to add them, and it looks pretty good. Okay, my frames are going way too much down. I'm going to go ahead and lower the graphics in a moment, but you can see how good our grass is looking, how good the forests are looking. Again, here are the slight details you could add to a forest. First, make the grass not so dense, because that's not usually how it is in a forest. Add bushes, add rocks through them. Then just make it so, as you can see, we're using a grass texture right here. I believe I did added some of the dirt texture, but find a good dirt texture, add it, you know, and it makes a big impact on a game. Now, last thing we're going to do, which again, not required at all, but I recommend you go ahead and do it because it's gonna add a lot more to the game. So that's going to be adding camera shake for our weapons. So first I'm gonna go ahead and lower the graphics. So project settings, quality, and I'm gonna do it. Okay, am I really on low already? Okay, very low. Let's hit play and see how many frames I get. Well, it's not making much of a change. Actually, at risk of Unity crashing, I'm going to go ahead and put it on Ultra just to show you guys how it looks. Okay, you can already see that. Okay, so you can already see it's looking better. Again, my frames are like maybe 10-20 frames, but it looks great. So this is pretty much it for improving graphics. So let's go ahead and actually do the camera shake. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and first go into animations, create a new folder, and we're gonna call it cam shake. Okay, cops is on, cam shake. We're going to be doing the camera shake through animations. There's ways to do it procedurally, but if I'm honest with you all, I have no idea how to do that. So this is the way I usually do it, just a fixed camera shake, and that's it. And so my FPSs are looking a lot better. I'm gonna find the effect that's making my FPS go so low, because I know the depth of field consumes a while, and so does more motion blur. So maybe by deactivating those two for me, it will work. Just keep in mind that, again, adding visual effects, as you can see, it's pretty consuming on your graphics card. Which again, I'm through a laptop that is a Intel Core 3, has, I believe, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and that's it, and then integrated graphics. So this is not the best place to make a game with good graphics. I don't know why I didn't use my main desktop PC, but you know, it's already done. So okay, so next thing, go into your player and right click on it and create an empty. Call it camera look. And inside of it, you're going to drag your main camera and copy your camera look component. Click on the 3 dots and click on copy component. Go to your camera look. Right here, do paste component as new, and then we're going to create one more component. So create empty, and this is going to be the camera shake. And then we're gonna drag our main camera into it, and right here on camera shake, first let's go to our folder and create a new animator, and we're gonna call it cam shake. And all we really need is 2 animations, the idle one and the shake one. So animation, idle, loop it, and animation camera shake. Also, one more thing you could do, which I am going to go ahead and do, is M4. You can move it out of main camera, out of camera look, the camera shake. I'm sorry, and then you could, it's gonna look, so the weapon's gonna stay still, but you're gonna be seeing your camera shake. Otherwise, whenever the camera shakes, the weapon's gonna move with the camera. But actually, that will take some script tweaking. So you know what? Let's just leave it like that for now. Okay. So now on camera shake, just add this one, cam shake, and open your cam shake animator, add the idle, and then camera shake. And we're going to make a transition from here to here and then back. This one's not gonna have an exit time. This one's just gonna go straight into the camera shake animation. And then we're gonna add a trigger called shake. And again, just add the shake value over here. You should already know how to use this if you watched the previous tutorial. And right on this one, what we're going to do is just lower this to the minimum and move this over here. And just keep exit time enabled because you're going to need it, otherwise it won't know how to exit the animation unless you write some code for it. And now all we're going to do is we're going to go into camera shake, not camera shake, sorry. We're going to look up our weapon script. Actually, I have it loaded already. So on our weapon script, all we're going to do is get on shoot, so or shoot functions, so like shotgun shoot and shooting. Okay, just give it a second. Alright, so I'm gonna go to definition. Okay, I forgot that I hadn't even looked at Visual Studio after I loaded it. And right here, we are going to do get component in parent animator, because pretty much that's the only animator that's above us. Yeah, above us. Dot set trigger and just do shake. Alright, then just copy this line of code and we're gonna paste it into our shoot function right up here. And then a change that I am going to actually make is I'm gonna make it part of the actual camera look, because otherwise the shake. So right now we're using the main camera as our shoot point, at least in my case. I don't know what you guys are doing, but this camera is going to be moving like this, for example, you know, like that for shaking. So that's also gonna move the shoot point. So I'm gonna use my camera look as the shoot point. So I'm just gonna do that really quick. Let's do camera look. Right here, shoot point. Also, one more thing you could easily do is just add a new trigger. So over here on the animator, you could add a new animation, add a new trigger called, I don't know, melee shake, and you could do a camera shake whenever it hits. All you will have to do, which I'm actually gonna do, but I'm just gonna use the same one from shooting, is just copy this from here and do it on the hit, execute hit function. So let me just find that function. Okay, melee functions. Right here in execute hit, you could just do this, and there you go. You've gotten a camera shake when you are hitting something. So let's go ahead and go back to Unity, and let's first, now we're going to make our animation. So select camera shake, go into the scene, and you shouldn't have the animation tab, but if you have it, don't worry about it. If you don't have it, go ahead and click in these three dots right here, do add tab, and select animation. So next thing, on idle, we are going to just do this. On X, just do 1 and then 0. And then on X, on the rotation, again, do 1 and then 0. The reason I'm doing that is just to register the values. So I'm just going to copy it and go back to camera shake. And right here, we're actually going to do the actual shake. Actually, I made a mistake. So stop recording, and on main camera, drag it out of camera shake and camera look, because both of these have 0, so that's their main point. So make it 1, 0.7 I believe it was. Yeah, although the camera look should be correcting that, but anyways, do this and then drag the main camera back into camera shake. So let's go ahead and keep animating it. Let's go into camera shake, hit record, and then I'm gonna do something like this. So there we go. Then up just by a little. Then it's going to go to the right like this and like this, and then it's going to go back to idle. So let's go ahead and play it. So it's not the best camera shake, especially because it moves way too much. So I'm gonna lower the Y value, no, not the Y, the X one. Instead of 78, I'm gonna do it like 48. Okay, that didn't change it that much. So right there. Okay, I see what's going on. This one's way too much to the right. Okay, all I'm doing here is just playing around with it to make a good shake. But again, that's up to you on making it. I won't be leaving the shake animations, so it's all on you. And it's not changing anything on the code or anything, just that single line that we added. Okay, maybe I did mess it up a little. What did it do? Okay, I know what's happening. So main camera, go to it and delete the camera look, because that's what's going on. That's not our camera look anymore, it's this one. So first we're going to have to make sure there are no errors on the code, which I'm gonna do by myself. So okay, yeah, those were the effects that I disabled a while ago that were causing all my frames to go down. Okay, no. Alright, so let's go ahead and test it. You can see that it actually feels a lot better. Again, the camera shakes like this, but it gives it some impact. You gotta make the camera shake on your own. Just figure out an animation that works for you. We could have just used a script, but I don't have any script that I own or I could give you guys that actually does this. But that's going to be it for this tutorial, guys. Honestly, I really wanted to make this tutorial. It's a lot of fun for me to play around with graphics and stuff. Hopefully it's as fun to you all. And that's going to be it. I'm just gonna check something real quick, which is the hit thing that we did for the hatchet. I just want to find the damn dropbacks. Okay, right here, finally. Also, we are going to be doing one more thing before I end the tutorial. First, I'm going to show you the shotgun, which we coded on the weapon system. I didn't really assign values, but all you had to do is go into the item data and assign the values. But you can see if I shoot, those are the bullet holes, which don't really look like them, but so if you shoot, there it goes, and it actually doesn't recoil. So it's looking pretty good. Same thing. Yeah, look how much better it feels shooting with the camera shake. And now, so this is the swing. And you can see it actually does the camera shake when you're hitting, and it feels much better. So let's try it on a palm tree. You can see how much better it feels just hitting stuff. Those are the small details that make a game. So you know the saying, the devil is in the details. But that's gonna be it for now. I'm just gonna show you how to fix the shadows just showing up like that, like floating hands. So all you really have to do is first enable your 4 weapons, go to their hands, and just do cast shadows off, and then go to the actual weapon. So click on the weapon, and this one's divided into multiple meshes, as you can see. So select them all, and where it says cast shadows, just set it to off. Now go ahead and do that through every single weapon. So I'm going to do it for the M4. Okay, going to disable this too. So select the arms, cast shadows off, select the whole M4. Okay, maybe there's something, okay, that right there. And do cast shadows off, and there we go. Just missing the shotgun and and stone hatchet. So I'm gonna go ahead and do those. Okay, first this one. This one's looking like it has no textures. Okay, it doesn't have any textures, this one, for some reason. Okay, then just do cast shadows off, select the shotgun, and do for all of these cast shadows off. And then just missing the stone hatchet. Let's go ahead and enable it. Center up. Okay, there we go. And then right here we just have to select again the arms off, and the stone hatchet, select the blade and the handle, and off. I'll disable them out again. I'm gonna save it, and now we're just going to check it if it's working, which should be. Okay, so let's pick this up, all of this, and there you go. You can see there's no more shadows of floating hands or anything. So that's it. I'm even gonna show you guys how to do a first person body, but not in this tutorial. I don't want to be making 30 tutorials for the whole series. Right now, as I have it planned, it's already like 12 tutorials or so, and that's not counting the times I do like for the crafting, how I did 6 and then 6.5. That's not counting those. So it's around 15 tutorials in total, and I don't want to get for things to get that long. But you can already see the huge improvement it is. So there we go. We got a sky, water, amazing visual effects. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you guys like the video, as always, hit the like button, subscribe and comment down below. It always helps a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next one.